Israelis, Jewish Israelis, that they see that the Palestinians as subhumans. There is another one that I want to touch that I haven't talked about the last time, but let's talk about this time. There is a sense of supremacy, sense of a superiority that, because based on the Bible, especially on the Old Testament, that the Jewish people are the chosen people. So they have a sense of they're like basically like I'm better than you. Who are you? Who the fuck are you to judge me? I'm the chosen one by the God. So I have a divine duty to save the entire humanity. So what are you talking about? So that kind of the supremacy, it actually can explain a lot of things. Okay, the first thing is that you can see that Israel is the only country dare to sometimes to kill the Americans. This goes back to 1970, 1967, the Six Day War. During that Six-Day War, there is a USS Liberty, technical research boat. But the Israel navies and the Air Force and launched attack, and then killed I believe the 34 people, wounded like more than 170 people. They're all Americans. Okay, so obviously we have to go back to the history background. Then the state secretary of Rusk was really furious, and then he said it's unbelievable, and then summoned the Israel embassy to State Department, but quickly the U.S. basically accepted the Israelis' apology and claiming that this is the mistake identity misidentification. But lately, we all know that what is really being said by the government, it may not be the truth. So over the years, we still have a lawsuit going on that some people are asking for the opening of the secret file. Uh, Basically, a lot of CIA, some other NSA, they all, behind the closed doors, they're all thinking that Israel did that on purpose. Why? Because the Israel want to destroy the American boat, because that ship, may be intercepting the communications back and forth before the Israel can invade Golan Heights. Okay, so that's the real purpose. Of course, we all know that it's kind of like I can't help thinking about this. Every time the relationship between U.S. and Israel, it's some people call it a dog tail wakes the body. I would rather call that Tom and Jerry. Okay, we also that Jerry, the little mouse, can always outsmart the cat. So US is like the miserable cat, and then always, outsmarted by the little Jerry. So I think that described the relationship well, because Israel, they don't mind to strike first and then, and then apology. And even they ended up paying money, like more than 3 million for the survivors, and another 3 million for the families, and another 3 million something for the property damages. But we all know this has been a pattern. Israel, when it's decided to destroy somebody, they just do it. They're gonna do that first and then apologize later. So that kind of created a image that this guy is tough, this country is tough. So we better be careful. That's why that also explains something. Why there's some people even in this country, the strongest, the biggest country in the world, are still afraid of Israel. So this is, I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not nothing personal. If Israel changed his behavior, I'll be the first one to praise it. Why? Because I don't believe that the human natures are fixed. They're evil or they're angel. from the birth and then till they go to the grave. I believe people are changeable. It's not easy, but sometimes under certain circumstances we can still change that. So I sincerely hope that Israel will change its behavior. So this is one thing that I'm saying, that because this kind of a sense of a supremacy that makes Israel a more really can be tough, can do whatever they want, and then even though they have to say that I'm sorry later, okay. And the same reason can also explain that the Israeli IDF is IDF is really, IDF is basically made of Israeli people, right? So those Israeli IDF, they even open fires um, on the peacekeepers, UN peacekeepers. So the other day, somebody was asking me, was debating, was saying that these peacekeepers, they didn't do anything when the Lebanese militias, they opened the fire on the Israel. They didn't do anything. But then you have to understand that they're not there to fight back. Okay, they are basically the observer. And also, by all means, they will provide shelter for civilians. That's why there is a tragedy. I believe in 1996, there was a big tragedy that the IDF opened the fire. They're purposely doing that. That's why it makes me so sick, because Israel does have the technology. They know ahead of time that those are the civilians. They knew there's like a peacekeepers. Still, they don't give it a damn. They just open the fire and killed more than 100 people. You know, this is what really pissed me off. How dare you? I mean, there's no other country in the world. I mean, can openly do things like that. But a part of it is, again, going back to the sense of supremacy. They think they are the chosen people, and to make it more sad is that we have some, not everybody in the American Zionist, but some important branch of it, called it the dispensationalism. They believe that we have 7 years of global chaos, wars and the ruin of wars and the natural disasters, and then they believe that's like divinely ordained. You have to pay some price in order to get Jesus to come back to the earth. So that's why all these things together, add together, makes the Israel give you very little, not even sometimes not even second thought. They just do it. Okay, so let's stop here.